All right, let's just dive right in. It's been a little while since SB19 dropped Wakas, and I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure the emotional recovery is still ongoing. So today, we're going to go under the hood and do a full technical autopsy on this absolute monster of a track. You know, one critic described this song as a glitch in a neon cathedral. And I have to say, I cannot think of a more perfect way to put it. It's got that feeling of being grand and sacred, but also digital and broken. It's ancient and futuristic all at once. But before we get into all the nerdy music theory and production secrets, we have to start with the feeling. The first test of any masterpiece is just, how does it hit you? So I have to ask, that first time you heard that final chorus just explode, did you scream or did you just start crying? It's one of those songs that demands a physical reaction. Okay, so let's get into the formal analysis here. But look, this isn't just about deconstructing a song. This is about understanding the anatomy of a finale itself. What we're talking about is the closing of a massive, massive chapter in the story of P-pop. So what is it exactly? Well, at its core, Wakas is what we'd call a symphonic power ballad, but it was engineered for a very specific purpose. It wasn't just designed to end an album, it was built to feel like the definitive conclusion to an entire era, both for the group and for everyone listening. So how in the world do you actually write the code for that kind of emotion? Well, like any great structure, it all starts with the musical blueprint, the core architecture of the song itself. And these choices create a very specific feeling right from the first second. The key, D-flat major, just feels warm and grounded. The tempo is this really stately 72 beats per minute, almost like a slow, steady heartbeat. But the real magic, especially in that intro, is the use of rubato. It just means the timing isn't strict. The piano feels like it's breathing, expanding, and contracting before it finally locks into that solid rhythm. And the chords themselves are just so sophisticated and lush. This progression is what gives the song its rich, almost cinematic feeling. It's constantly moving between this feeling of tension and the comfort of coming home. But, okay, if there is one single concept you need to understand about this song, it is this: delayed resolution. This is the secret weapon of the chorus. The melody climbs and climbs, and then it hangs there on that one tense note, just holding on for a moment longer than you expect before it finally lands. And the feeling that creates is everything. That tiny delay gives you this powerful physical sensation of closure. It's been described as the sound of a heavy door finally locking into place. It's the musical version of the word wakas. It is the end. Okay, so we have the musical blueprint. Now, how do you go from that to building a full-on sonic cathedral? Well, it's all about the architecture, the layers that create this massive wall of sound. And really, it's built on 3 foundational layers. First, a real 24-piece live string orchestra. That's where you get that authentic, sweeping sound. Then, holding it all down, is this deep, modern hum from a Prophet 6 analog synth. And for the huge climax in the bridge, they brought in a massive Taiko drum ensemble that just feels absolutely tectonic. Now, creating a sound that big presents a huge technical challenge for the vocals. I mean, how do you make sure the really delicate whispered parts still feel intimate and close, while also making sure that the super powerful high-belted notes don't just sound painfully sharp and piercing? Well, the solution is a really brilliant piece of audio engineering called dynamic EQ. Just think of it like a smart volume knob. It's smart enough to only turn down those harsh frequencies when the singer is at full power, but it leaves all the delicate, airy parts of the whispers completely untouched. It's what allows those 2 complete opposites to exist perfectly in the same song. So we have the blueprint, and we have the architecture. But this next part, this is where the track really becomes genius. It's in how the music itself tells the exact same story as the lyrics. The words in the song take you on this clear journey, right? It moves from this quiet reflection on the past to this feeling of epic, soaring transcendence. The music had to follow that exact same path. And there is one specific moment, one exact line, where the entire song just pivots. It's when the lyrics say, "breaking the cycle." This line is basically a trigger for one of the cleverest musical moments I've ever heard in a pop song. So for the entire song up to this point, your brain has been conditioned to a very specific rhythm. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's steady, it's a predictable loop. You expect it. But right on that line, breaking the cycle, they just add an extra beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For that one single moment, the entire time signature, the very pulse of the song, shifts. They don't just sing about breaking the cycle, they literally break the rhythmic cycle of the song. It's this little physical jolt that you feel. It's incredible. When you put all of these different elements together, you end up with something much bigger than the sum of its parts. This is really about cementing a legacy and defining a whole new kind of sound. And this is what Wakas is really being called, the definitive P-pop epic. It's this amazing new sound that fuses the vocal styles and the emotion of traditional Kundiman with the absolute biggest, most over-the-top Western pop production. And that combination is just undeniably, uniquely SB19. But the story isn't quite over, because after all the grandeur and all the emotion and all the technical brilliance, there is still a secret. There's a ghost in the machine here, something haunting this finale. And this secret is hidden deep in the mix at -15 decibels. Now, for context, that is unbelievably quiet. It's softer than a whisper. You literally cannot hear it unless you're listening very, very closely on a really high-quality sound system. So what is it that's hidden there? Well, the producers are calling them the Atmos ghosts. They took these tiny, ghostly little snippets of past SB19 hits and tucked them way back into the overhead channels of the Dolby Atmos mix, which means that SB19 is literally, sonically, haunting their own finale with the ghosts of their past. And all of this brings us to one final thought. Wakas means the end. And this song is a masterpiece of closure, a perfect, definitive ending. But by hiding these ghosts of the past inside of it, they're kind of forcing us to ask a bigger question. They're asking, in this perfect end, are you already looking for the Simula, the beginning, that's hidden inside of it?